Greetings, fellow masters, and welcome back to the channel. I am the Shotgun Shogun, and today we are going to be talking about the man, the myth, the legend, Iskandar. Now, if you've watched Fate Zero, rolling on this banner is probably a no-brainer for you. As half of undoubtedly one of the best bromances in anime, and you can fight me on that, this mountain of a man is an absolute treasure and has a smile that you just want to follow all the way to Okeanos. Iskandar is not only a very strong wave clearer, but among the riders currently in the game, he sports the second highest HP of all of them and the highest attack. He offers great damage for your team's NP and offers himself an incredible boost for a one-turn nuke that you will potentially be running in your 3-turn setup. So before we get into his skills, let's get into his stats. So clocking in at 11,560 attack as well as 13,219 hit points. These are at 90. Beware that grailing them will take these a little bit higher. Like I said earlier, he is the second highest hit point and the current highest attack rider in the game as of this recording. Now, I know later on this does change a little bit and he does lose a few places, but currently he is the top of the attack for riders. Now, with those stats, he does outpace Francis Drake, but I will rank him below her for the time being, and I will explain that a little bit later. But first, let's get into his attack deck. He is 1 quick, 2 arts, 2 buster, clocking in at 3 attacks for quick, 2 for both arts, and 1 for the buster. You also get 6 attacks on his extra attack. His NP charge on those 2 arcs cards is 0.66%, but after his interlude, it goes up to 0.86%. So this will help you in getting that Noble Phantasm charged up a little bit faster. There's only 2 hits on it, so it's not the most amazing arts card, but it is definitely something that will help you get his Noble Phantasm a little bit faster. Now, as for his class skills, he does have Magic Resistance D, which increases debuff resist by 12.5%. He has Riding A+, which increases his quick card effectiveness by 11%, and he has Divinity C, which applies damage plus 150. Now, the problem with having the Riding A+ that increases quick is he only has 1 quick card. It does have 3 hits on it though, so it will be pretty good for generating stars. However, like I said, you have 1 quick card and it's not really going to be your bread and butter. You're going to be wanting to run buster hits on him, and I will go into that a little bit more after we talk about the skills, which are coming up right now. So first skill is Charisma A. This increases the attack of all allies. It's Charisma. We already know how this goes. 10% at rank 1, 20% at rank 10. This is going to be your standard overall party buff, which is, you know, great. I'm excited anytime somebody has a decent charisma because it's going to increase, it's going to increase my party's damage for 3 turns. Now, Tactics B. This is one of the items that he brings to the table that I actually really enjoy, especially in any sort of, trying to 3-turn stuff or farming, or even just in general for trying to clear hard content. Now, this increases the entire team's NP strength, 9% at rank 1, 18% at rank 10. It is Tactics B, so it's not, a 10 to 20%, but overall it is good. This brings a lot to your team. You can use it for his Noble Phantasm. You can use it to knock off, another wave clearing Noble Phantasm. How you want to use this is up to you, but it does definitely bring a good bit of extra damage on top of that Charisma A to firing off those Noble Phantasms. Now, Conqueror of Lightning EX. This is going to increase Buster card effectiveness. It's going to increase critical star drop. This is going to give you 30% increased Buster all the way up to 50%. And then 50% increased star drop rate across the board. Now, let's say you are trying to 3-turn things or you're trying to clear stuff. You can use Tactics B, and then the next turn you can use Conqueror of Lightning EX to buff Iskandar's Noble Phantasm. So let's say you're using Lancelot to clear turn 2, you use Tactics B, make waste of everything. Third turn, you use Conqueror of Lightning EX to increase Iskandar's Noble Phantasm. Boom, wipe the board. A 50% buff to his Buster card on top of the 20% increased attack that you get from Charisma A is already going to be phenomenal. You're just adding a ton of damage to this boy. So with his skills out of the way, let's take a look at his Noble Phantasm, Ionian Hetairai. The Army of the King deals heavy damage to all enemies and decreases defense for 3 turns. Now, if you are going to be doing a Noble Phantasm chain, you're trying to burn down some Hunt Quest enemies, because that's what we're doing right now, you're going to want to use this first for the defense down so your follow-ups can do more damage. Now, I do not believe that defense down triggers right away. There are some that, but I think that it's just self buffs that will trigger before the Noble Phantasm. So I think this is a detriment after you do your damage. So at Noble Phantasm 1, you're looking at 300% damage. You're looking at 10% defense down. 400 at 2, 450 at 3, 475 at 4, all the way up to 500% damage and 30% defense down at NP 5. Now, later on, he does get an interlude power-up for this Noble Phantasm. What does this add? It also increases decreased critical hit rate for 3 turns. So this goes from 300 to 400%, plus the 10% defense decrease, plus 10% critical hit rate down. Now, this goes along the way. You're getting an extra 100% on each of those, and it goes up to 50% for the decreased critical hit rate. So at NP5, you are looking at 600% damage, 30% defense down, and 50% critical hit rate down. Now, not only that, but this is such an amazing looking Noble Phantasm. With the Noble Phantasm, with the skills, he's great for the party, but you're going to be saying, Shotgun Shogun, what kind of investment do I have to make in this beautiful boy? Well, you are going to have to bring a lot of horseshoes and seeds and plumes to the table, and as we all know, those are such a pleasure to farm. For his ascension, you're going to need at least 8 meteoric horseshoes, 29 proof of heroes, and 15 octuplet crystals, not to mention 8 bicorn horns. Bicorn horns aren't nearly as hard, in my opinion, as getting 8 meteoric horseshoes. Let's be real, but you should have plenty after the Da Vinci event. Now on to his skills, where this is going to be very, very painful. We're looking at 15 horseshoes per skill, 30 seeds, and 20 plumes, as if you just were overflowing with seeds and plumes for days. So investing in him to get his skills up, to get his ascension, is not going to be cheap. The plumes are not a pleasure to get. So just to get all 3 of his skills to 999 is going to take you 90 seeds and 60 plumes, 45 horseshoes. It's a pretty steep mountain to climb, but once you get to the top of this mountain, you may just see Okeanos with him. So his bond level, his bond 10 CE is it's good, but it's not the best. It's very generic. A lot of other people share the same one. It is it's increase the party's attack by 15% while on the field. Now, this is a flat 15% across the board, and it is pretty good. If he had a very stable way to get his Noble Phantasm up, this would be great. I would gladly bring this over a Halloween Princess, a Kaleidoscope, any number of those things, because it would give you a basically 45% increased damage, as the 15% would go to everybody. So it would definitely be bringing a bunch to the team, along with the Noble Phantasm increase from his skills, as well as Charisma A. You'd be doing a lot, but now, this is why I stated earlier that I would rank Drake over Iskandar for farming purposes. Now, I don't think that I would rank Drake over Iskandar for content, story, if I was bringing him for, you know, some sort of challenge quest, because Drake can just instantly get herself to like 100 NP, no problem, whereas Iskandar does not have that. So if you are trying to 3-turn things, or if you are trying to farm hands, stuff like that, and you don't have a waiver, you know, you're not running anybody that can increase Noble Phantasm right out the gate, and you don't have MLB Kaleidoscopes, Drake is going to outclass Iskandar for the farming purposes. Now, if you are running a waiver, which, I mean, you should be, because the best bromance, then it's going to make blowing stuff up with Iskandar much easier, because you can throw the Halloween Princess on him to further increase his Noble Phantasm, as well as start him out at 50%. So two waiver buffs plus his third one will cap him out, and boom, you're good to go. So overall, do I think that you should roll for Iskandar? Absolutely. Even if it's not just for the bromance, he is not actually outclassed in terms of raw physical hit points and damage until Ozzy or Quetz. Those are the only two, and Quetz is sitting strongly at the top of the rider stat tree, followed closely behind Ozzy. Even currently, Iskandar is in 4th place. So getting Iskandar is a good investment for a future-proof rider. He brings a lot of damage. He's got a Buster Noble Phantasm, plus he's got the 2 Buster cards, so he can even set up for a Buster Brave Chain off of his Noble Phantasm. The big thing with Iskandar 2 is that he is a very limited pickup summon. So if you're a collector of sorts, you will want to get at least one Iskandar. So unlike some limited servants, Iskandar definitely stands the test of time. Plus, he is just one of the best bros. I'm very biased in this, because I love the story. I love his character. So I'm definitely going to be rolling on him. And if I had to say, I really think that if for some reason you still have quartz left over after DW has just stuck the shop vac to our wallets and sucked up all of the quartz that we could have after Coup, Jalter, the Da Vinci event, and now this, by all means, this is definitely a good servant to pick up. Now, does he have the flair and the crazy extra skills that some other servants have? No, absolutely not. To quote some people, he's a big stick. But I kind of disagree with that, because he brings extra damage to the team. He increases the team's Noble Phantasm. Iskandar is a phenomenal team player if you need somebody to help you do that extra damage. So with that said, I will be summoning for him, and I'm really hoping that he decides to come to my Chaldea so that I can get the boys back together. Other than that, I am really looking forward to the Zero event, and I will be doing a showcase on the 2 assassins that also are coming with this, as well as the craft essences that are coming with the gacha. But I don't want this to be a 45-minute video where I just gush about how much I love Iskandar. So as always, guys, if you really like the content, make sure you drop a like, toss me a comment, because I love reading your comments, and make sure, if you're not already, that you're subscribed to the channel for, you know, future updates, showcases, news, stuff like that. And yeah, anyways, guys, I will catch you next time. Take it easy. Peace.